He also realizes everything else is going on. One of the girls at Booster, she was here. Yeah, but she goes to church, you know. Yeah. And she works for the city and county. That just makes me so angry.
I don't know what to say.
It's really good.
No one sits down. I'm gonna move this.
Go by and the pastor.
I'm gonna move up front. Will you pass it to me?
Who? Who's that?
Figure no one's gonna take the good seats. I will.
Okay, I got pretty close to 6 o'clock. I appreciate everybody coming, and thank you for coming back. And again, apologize for the short notice. We wanted to clarify information that was being put out there and make sure everybody's cognizant of the information that was put out there and the correct information of what the city's looking at. With that said, I got a couple of things. If you haven't signed in, please sign in. If you would be so kindly, if you're a property owner, would you make sure we understand which property you own, whether that's lot or a trailer number. We just want to make sure we have a face and a name and everybody's straight as to where everybody's at. That'll help us out. The other thing is, want everybody to be, Roger, we're just catching up. If you want to sign in,
Just Roger.
if you'd let us know which trailer and home that you are in, so we can make sure we have the right lot numbers. Been a little discussion as to lot numbers. They're not exactly, in some of the documents, they're not labeled the way they are.
I get mail with like 1 through 6.
Right.
I told them all lot 1, lot 2. It's like, I don't understand when I tell someone a single number. It's like, how do you confuse 1 to 5?
The other thing we'd like is if we'd like to have open dialogue with the property owners here. If there's members of the public that would like to make comments, we'd like to hold those comments and questions until the end, so we can make sure that we're providing the correct information to the property owners, because this is their meeting, not the rest of ours meeting. So I just want to point that out. Is that okay with everyone?
Sounds good.
All right, appreciate that. A couple questions came up. We're going to provide the same information, a little bit different format that we provided last meeting. Make sure we clearly understand what the questions are. We had a few things that we wanted to clarify based on information and questions that came up in the last meeting. And one of those, I'll just start with, if you could pull up the old map, Becky. So, question was asked on the...
I didn't see that one map. I didn't see that map before.
No, you did not. I thought it was, the question came up as when and how long and those kinds of things.
Oh,
So I thought I'd provide some context to that discussion, because we started with a map that was much newer, let's say. Okay, on this, you might notice that block 7, and that's what we're talking about, block 7 here was added in Kaufman's second west edition. You'll notice the platting on it. You'll notice 2nd Street is platted as 70 foot. Elm Street is platted as 60 foot. And you'll notice that Locust was not platted all the way down to the MOPAC line, and of course the MOPAC is still there. Okay, since that time, the Missouri Pacific, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
The Missouri Pacific Railroad down at the bottom, you can see the railroad lines. Since then, obviously, the railroad's been abandoned. There's some discussion as to that abandonment for that particular area on property owners and how that went back. Just going out to 56. That whole section has some discussion on it. We're not really here to talk about that, but you can see the lot was platted with east-west lots, 1 through 10. Essentially, they are 50 by 140 lots. Not quite, because this is only 200 and some feet long. 200 and, let's see, 261. So the bottom lot 9 and 10 are a little bit different, but pretty close. And it had an alley running down the middle of it, much like the rest of the town. That's how it was originally platted. So the question from last meeting was, well, what does the plat look like and how long has it been that way? So that's the original plat. Now, and it's remained that way, and it basically still remains that way. From a county perspective, from a legal perspective, that's exactly how it's platted. Now,
And what year is that? I'm sorry.
this map is from 1918.
Okay.
So
1918.
not a lot has changed. Now, welcome. Not a lot has changed since that map was put together. It's still platted basically the same. And when it became a mobile home park, it was never officially replatted. We talked about that last meeting. So, like if you pull up the newer map.
And John, what year did it actually become a mobile home park? Do we know?
I'll get to that in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
I can find out for sure the exact time,
That's fine.
but I'll give you a general idea.
Okay.
Which newer map? The survey map?
The survey map. Okay. So, we believe that when the city redid the zoning map in 2007, 2007, we redid the zoning map, and the question was, this was zoned R1, meaning it was zoned as single-family residence.
And that's what it is.
It is, but that an R1 is not a mobile home park in any of our zoning regs. They're two different. R1 is basically a single structure, single family. That's how it was platted.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The mobile home that is at, what's the street with? East of Maple? Cedar Oak?
Yeah.
No, east. Anyway, there's a mobile home that sits there. Is that an R1 or was that an exception or?
We are unclear. There's a variety of things as things throughout the city to answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
And we sent out 11 letters year and a half, so
Okay, I remember that.
a couple of years ago,
I didn't get one.
letting those property owners, at least the ones that we believed were mobile homes, moved in for whatever reason, and how they got there, that when they need to replace that, or it is replaced, it cannot go back as, it needs to go back to their original zoning or rezoning.
Okay,
Do one or the other.
okay.
And we sent 11 of those out. Now, there's some of them that are considered modular homes, a little bit different,
Which is on a permanent foundation?
on a permanent foundation.
Okay.
You get into that whole discussion of when it goes from a mobile home to
Okay,
That's
a
a big
real
one in
property.
construction.
yeah.
Yeah. So those are a couple questions that, from last meeting, that I'd provide some clarification to.
Okay,
So when we redid the zoning map, that was discussed at the time back in 2007, and again back in 2010, right after the zoning map. Some discussion obviously was had with Chad, because this agreement we talked about last meeting, we'll talk about it here in a minute, was from 2010. It was just never replatted. Now, it's typically the property owner's responsibility to replat those things, bring those in a zoning. City was faced with a question in 2007 when they redid the zoning map. Do we consider it, leave it R1 as it was currently zoned? But we got, at that time, we had just as many trailers and mobile homes on there as we do now. Maybe one or two less, but basically the same map existed. We said, well, it's obviously a mobile home park. So we should at least acknowledge that it's a mobile home park. Doesn't really change anything as far as what it was existing at the time. But now, and nobody really, I mean, the city thought that while we knew some of these were kind of close to the line, I mean, nobody went down there and said, for sure, this is the question.
Why not?
Well, we probably should have. I can't answer that question.
Well, you were on the council, so I'm just curious, why not?
No, he was on the planning and zoning then, I think.
No, I've never been on planning and zoning.
Your name was listed on the planning and zoning commission in 2010.
Well, I don't think so.
Jason was on there, Bob
Wrong list.
Bostrom.
He was council.
Who was?
So you were part
Oh,
of the
I'm
city
sorry.
government when this
Okay.
happened, so why didn't this happen then?
Again, it's the same question we have now. How are you going to I can't answer why it wasn't done. I cannot.
Well, you keep saying the city, but you were the city then. You were part of this government back then.
I could have been.
No,
And I
you
will tell you,
were.
I-
I can tell you March 10th, 2010.
I,
You and Jim Gates motioned the agreement with Chad as written.
we did.
Okay, so why wasn't this done back then?
He can't.
I can't answer that.
Okay.
Let me get.
So it's just a long line of incompetence, is what I'm getting.
Could be.
Alzheimer's.
We're not here to throw insults, okay?
There's no insults. I'm asking you a question that you can't answer.
I cannot.
Okay, great.
All right. So, we did not force this to be rezoned. We did not force it to be replatted. Now, if we would have done it at the time, we would have had this surveyed and discovered this information, and then what would we do at that time? We would have said, either these got to be moved, or they got to go away, right? I mean, that's the choice. Same choice we're having today. Nobody wanted to throw anybody out of homes. That wasn't our intent. Wasn't our intent then, and it's not our intent now. So, we entered into an agreement, and Chad wanted to add some trailers.
Yeah.
And that's what this agreement is. He says, hey, I want to add some trailers. I wanna add 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. That's what this agreement is about.
Okay,
That's how those got allowed to be put in.
Right. So
My
that's
dad, I
how,
was always curious about that. He passed away in 2021.
yeah,
but
so this
I can tell his
agreement
ashes now.
back in, it said, hey, I wanna add these other trailers. Now, you ask the question, why? Okay, back in this agreement, just like, in last meeting, if I get to section 8 here, we believed what Chad was presenting was correct and accurate.
okay,
It says right here, the park map attached in Exhibit 3 shows the location and the lots on the real property. The Oswalds certify its accuracy. We believe that everything's on Chad's property.
okay.
He said, hey, you want to add some additional living space? Okay. We're not going to make you replat this. Probably should have, but we did it.
Okay, but the question still stands, if you didn't know where the property ended for sure, why would you agree to this?
Because he certified that, yes, they're on my property.
So you took his word for it without you being able to certify anything.
Yeah, that's
And
correct.
then 16 years later, here we are.
That's correct.
Fantastic.
Has anybody ever seen the deed to the property that should have all the boundary lines?
So we had the same question from
Okay.
the city. Same question arose in the city because we had to do some surveying for the water lines. You know, so we had this survey right here done. City paid to have that done to say, to answer your question as to, do we need to figure this problem out? Do we need to go more? You know, if these are all on Chad's property, it's not a concern. It's not platted correctly still, but at least they're on Chad's property. Unfortunately, when we came to this survey, now all of a sudden they are not. So we went to Chad. We also had a meeting with you folks, as you might remember, a couple years ago,
I didn't get
a
it.
year and a half.
A letter, we did.
Maybe
I didn't
not,
get a
maybe
letter.
everybody did not attend,
Jesse
but
was
some
here,
of you
we
did
were,
attend.
I didn't get a letter.
Scott and I were, Jesse was here.
I was probably busy with work.
I never got any notice.
I didn't either.
If I got one, I
Anyway,
I can't answer as to who came and who didn't come. Some property has changed hands since then. And unfortunately,
Who owned it before?
before Chad,
Yeah, you said the property has changed hands.
These
think you
mean
meant
individual.
No,
trailers.
you mean
I
an
really-
individual
the
trailers?
individual trailers.
Yeah.
Now, whether this information was conveyed to everybody during those transitions, I don't know. But we do know now that based on this survey, we know where the boundaries are. So, a couple other questions that came up associated with this boundary survey. One, if we do nothing, that was a question from last time. If we do nothing, it's existed for this long, why are we worrying about it now? Obviously, my concern is your risk. Whether you believe that or not, that is my concern. Is because we can kick this can down the road. Absolutely.
Well, you were fine with that 16
we-
years ago, kicking
we-
it down the road.
Obviously, I have a right to be smarter today.
That's true.
hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have known that, would have said absolutely not. We can't do that. Okay. But it didn't. So, now we're left with this situation of the properties. If we do nothing, it's just like every other non-conformance in town. There's lots of non-conformities in
Okay.
town. Absolutely. Everyone has to understand that if it's moved it, you know, if it's destroyed in whatever fashion, just like any other building that's non-conforming, it can't go back.
Okay.
That's a reality of where we're at. So, you know, someone brought up the little red building down there. Be happy to talk about it.
With the little
Absolutely non-conforming. Just, I'm in the same
Oh.
boat you guys are in. That building falls down, burns down, whatever. It will never go back there.
Okay.
It can't. It will remain there until something
Act of
happens.
God, basically.
That's basically an act of God.
Kind of like our train.
So,
So what if you're remodeling the trailer? Does it matter how long that it's gonna stay there? That's gonna be my question. If you could say, well, if it goes down, burns down, whatever, then there can't nothing else be.
the way the current, which I don't think you would ever reach this level, the way the current zoning is, you're not required to get a permit for any of your normal maintenance. And if you're not replacing 50% of the structure, you're also not required to get a
Right.
permit. So I don't think you would ever be replacing 50% of the structure.
Not at once.
I mean, you may over
As a
time, but.
construction worker, that 50% will never be all at once where it falls into that category.
Right.
Just,
I get
that'll
it.
how be the work is
I
organized.
get what you're saying. So,
48.
And you're talking more about really seriously damaged.
yeah.
Like if a tree falls
A
on
tree
it.
fell on it and,
Yeah.
you know.
Crushed half
smashed
of it,
and
whatever.
Smashed
Okay.
half of it.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
So, as people are buying and selling these properties,
insurance
they need to understand that risk. You know, would you not agree that everybody should be informed of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not here to say whether we did everything perfect in the past at the city, probably not. You know, we all make mistakes and we all have the right to be smart.
Now, would this concern every trailer in the park or only the ones
Just the 9,
that are outside the boundary?
just the 9, it only affects the
Okay,
9.
unless we change the boundary.
Unless we
And what
change the
9
boundaries
is
or-
that?
What's that?
What 9 is that?
The
Okay.
ones that are over the.
So,
There's 10 actually.
is it 10? Okay, so
J is actually number 1.
J is 1.
That's
One.
me.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
4, 5,
4,
6 in the
5.
front row.
There's 6 in the front row, but one of them
Which one's mine?
must be okay.
Clear down.
No, there's 6 up there that
Is
are,
there
There's
6?
6
Yeah,
and
there's
there
6
were
in the
6 on
first row.
six on the
7.
second.
Is this 7, which is PQ and?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
trailer
7.
7.
K
9,
is
10. I see
Lot 10.
10, okay. And then
14.
14 and 15.
14 and 15. Is that what we have?
Does that actually slant or is that just the way it's on the, I guess it's just the way it's on
It's the way it's on the drawing.
Okay, I'm like,
When
if
they
you
put-
just, if you just straighten that line.
when they put it on the paper, here, it's not squared on the paper.
Okay,
So that's the front row.
yes.
I was
So
wondering,
everybody
so
on there,
I
you
said
know,
by
Every single
somebody,
one in the first one.
that grandpa's in the compliments
Well,
back,
well,
way back in the day.
I will tell
We're
you,
down here in this far corner.
when we had the survey done, and you can look at this survey, obviously
Yes.
I'm
it's
in.
here.
Then where do those other trailers come from?
To get this survey done, and I didn't show you this when you're welcome to look at this, all the ones in black, the black dots here, they found some pins. They found
Pins,
some
pins.
rebar pins.
Pins.
So
that
it's
show
actually
the actual
property corners.
Property corners.
I have it.
Oh, you have it? Okay. So all the black ones, they found, and the circles, 1/2 inch, 5/8, that's what they found. If you go down to block 7, so they set every corner in block 7, all the way around it. So 8 pins they set. They also did the pins across the street.
That's gotta be back there by me.
Is that locust on the left?
Yes, that is Locust on the left.
Okay.
I can't
Yeah,
Undeveloped street.
Okay, so there's block 7, and then what's the next block? I guess
Block 7, the alley, and then Elm Street, which is basically the road
going
into
that
the
way.
park.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
tree.
I see it now.
The,
That includes the
Oh,
alley
okay,
and
so the
tree.
alley is what's
Just
between the
take a look,
two.
it's like,
Okay,
oh,
gotcha.
the-
Between us and
They
Justin.
do it like it's
Okay.
gonna be there, that's just,
They just
Because our
removed the
deck
tree
is in
from
the
that
middle.
area
Okay.
that is 150 years old. That was never a street.
yeah, no, it's never been a developed street. You are correct.
That's what he wants to put back there.
But
Okay.
we had some concern from the city side that we had a whole row of trees, and many of them were falling onto the properties. We did not ask you guys to take those out. We didn't ask for dollars to do that. We said, before one of these trees on our city road falls on your property, we're probably allowed to take care of it. And we have one more down there that's maybe iffy.
very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Took $2,100 worth of landscaping with it.
so that's kind of how we got to here. And this survey was done in 2023. Like I said, we asked Chad, how do you want to replat this? We had a discussion about, well, can these be moved? Because the way they really should be laid out is east-west. But they're not. They're laid out north-south. So, from last meeting, the consensus and options, and let me be clear, I don't anticipate that any clear final decision is going to be made at the Wednesday council meeting. I'm not going to, because everybody's going to have more discussion and get into the nuts and bolts, because the as they say, the devil's in the details. We're going to want to know, what is this going to look like? What's the agreement's going to be? How is this going to be? Is it going to be individuals? Is this going to be all together? Don't know.
Okay, so why isn't the city attorney here then? If it's gonna be legal documents.
He's trying to
contracts.
get here, but he can't, he's having troubles with the team's meeting.
Okay, but he wasn't at the last meeting either. You hired him, she used to be here.
That for this one, that's who we're working through on this. We may have other attorneys. The other question is the property owner, Chad, is gonna have to agree, if there's any replatting done, he's gonna have to agree to that replatting. Who's gonna pay for that survey and that replatting? Normally, the property owner takes care of that.
Okay.
Don't
That'll
know.
also- That'll also entail sewer lines, water lines, and electrical
Yeah.
lines.
And we had not gotten into the sewer question. No matter what we do, and let's say we do something with these outside lot lines and get everybody inside the property.
Conforming, okay.
Let's assume we do that in some fashion. Okay, now, what are we gonna do with the sewer line down the alley? So if you would bring that up, and you can pass this around, these are a little bit better. Let me circle this for where we're talking about.
Okay. You know where Dave and Kathy are. Get right next to them.
Sewer map, that's what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
You're next to Dave and Kathy.
Yeah, Dave and Kathy's on our left.
All right, this section right here, it's a little easier to,
They have all those dogs
Okay,
and
good.
stuff. Yeah.
it's a little easier to see.
So that alley runs between our house all the way to the front row. What don't affect anybody.
All right, Zach, can you hear us?
Because yours was set to.
Yes. Okay. All right, so when we get to the sewer,
They want to put it down.
yes, that is correct. It's a little hard to see, but B2, 1, and B7 are what we're concerned with. B2, 1 is on the back porch. I got it right this time. On the back porch, that when we did the sewer project
Here's B21.
back in the early 2000s, we couldn't find this manhole. because there was a structure built over the top of it. That structure's since been moved, but, that runs right down the middle of the alley.
I have questions, because this is my trailer we're talking about. And I know for a fact that 12, 11, and 10, all of our dump outs that go to the city main are at the very end of our trailer.
Do they go, well, and again, I do not know how the park owner we don't have any drawings of how they put the sewer lines in and connected to the main. We absolutely do not know.
Would that have been John Wilhite at the time?
Could have
Cause
been,
he,
could
cause
have
he
been
was,
John, could have been Chad, could have been,
it wasn't Chad. Those were well in there before Chad ever got.
O'Brien owned the
Could
park,
have been
and
O'Brien.
then he sold it to
Is there
Wilhite.
a
Yeah, I
way
think
that
John
we
Wilhite
can't
owned them.
survey and trace where the actual sewer lines
we
are?
can probably figure that
Yeah,
out.
it was
I mean,
John.
cause you're talking a good, you know where my porch is.
Yeah,
All three of those dump outs are at the very end, because I own 10 and 12.
and it's very possible that, since there were not, in the drawing we talked about before, 16, 17, 18 down on the south side, those trailers weren't there originally.
No.
They
The
used
county
the
made
12
him
in there
rezone him, that's why
originally,
he's only got 3 back there
Yeah.
instead of 6.
So,
Well,
uh,
there was 5. We had to
Yeah,
move 2
that's what I
out.
said, the county made him rezone it.
so
But there's only 3.
from J2 to J1 and B6, right in there, it's very possible that those go to that sewer main.
Okay, that's just,
I mean, from our perspective, we don't know.
Chad put the back sewer in
Yeah.
in row 3.
2000 like,
And the reason I know that is because we bought 3 trailers to go in there on that back row. And one of them's still there. The other 2, after we paid to have them brought in and got set, then the city it was Steve Simmons, I believe, at that time. Steve came along to check whatever and said both those trailers we brought in were on the sewer line, so we had to take them back out. That was a $5,000 mistake. But the point is I'm not sure where the actual sewers are.
So that's what they were on this drawing.
so do we theoretically, without a doubt, know that that sewer main goes underneath those 3 trailers?
We do know that the main goes under there. There's no doubt about it. Yeah,
But can
we
it be
do-
on the edge?
Could be, we don't know.
he doesn't know exactly
I
mean,
where
but
it
if
goes
you
underneath
draw-
the trailer, but it goes under the trailers.
If
That's
you
what
draw
he's
a
saying.
straight line between manhole B21, which is on your porch,
Okay.
and B7, which is, that's the manhole that is just outside of Elm Street. So if you draw a straight line from those 2, that's where that main sewer goes. All right, so from a city perspective, we're gonna have to maintain some access, some ability to service and maintain that. We talked last meeting, that we know that that's an older part of the sewer, and we know that in the inspection reports, the B7 is a brick manhole. It was not relined. Brick manholes are notoriously for failing, and that's why you go in and reline them. It was not done during the sewer project, so eventually we're gonna have to do that.
Okay, so relining it, does that mean you have to dig the whole thing up?
No, it just means that you have to work on just that manhole, and we probably need to do the same, the one that's next to your trailer.
The one, yeah, in my backyard.
In your backyard, correct.
That's the one that feeds us.
Which
Now,
you
what
guys
happens-
can service that all day long.
Yeah.
I
What-
mean, my steps can be removed
Sure.
in the process of doing that, and my air conditioner is the only other thing there.
And there
it's
was
not-
an agreement with the property owner at the time as to what would be done, because again, the city's not in the business of trying to throw people out, so. But
Right in the middle.
when we want to be very fair with everyone, we have walked ourselves into a problem. You know, I don't know how else to put that, but when you kick the can down the road for long periods of time, you end up in these, okay, we're gonna have to do something now. Whether it, you know, it's, you can talk about the mistakes of the past, but the mistake goes back 50 years or whenever they put this park in.
See, 'cause mine was one of the first.
I wasn't
ones. It
there.
says north-south, so if it goes east-west, I'll say, someone kind of screwed the pooch first thing, I
Yeah,
think.
in 1972 or whenever you
Yeah,
said
whenever,
you-
somebody might look at it the other way.
You know, now, some of the other trailers, and I believe it's your, that was replaced. And we gave a building permit, and we said, yeah, Chad, you can replace that trailer. Again, said, hey, you
Those
gotta
carries.
you gotta validate it and put it on your property. Did we go back and validate that he got it where it was supposed to be? No, we didn't. Because one, what building permits in our zoning did not have inspections or requirements to do those things. Now, we can go down that path, and the city's looking at that. That's an expensive path for the property owners in the city. I mean, it just is. If you're gonna require a survey and an inspection for everything you do in town,
Yeah.
that's a costly venture for everybody. And you know, we're all part of this community.
But they can't be here, it's not regular.
How do we go about these things? So, and how are we gonna solve this one? I think you collectively with the city can solve this problem. Now, what exactly that solution is gonna take us some diving into. One question you had a question, go ahead.
Well, my question was gonna be, at the last meeting, most of the consensus, I believe, was just move the property lines.
Yes.
Is that, okay.
Yeah.
So you said going forward that like Wednesday night, there won't be any solution at this point in time, down the road.
Don't anticipate.
So my
that.
question is this, can you at least find out from because you kept saying that would depend on the city council, that would depend on the city. Is there any way Wednesday night we could find out if the city council would even consider that?
I think we should consider a variety of options, but I don't think we should jump on, this is just my opinion. And my opinion is we should take a look at this and maybe look at a variety of options. Because cost is gonna be a consideration, right?
Mm-hmm.
None of you are gonna be up for, hey, is this gonna cost me money, right?
Oh, don't kid yourself.
Well,
Chad's not gonna foot the bill. He's gonna
Right.
turn it around on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
up the lot rent.
We're not smart. We're not stupid.
And
I was about
Here's my-
trimming limbs one time and he swung the bobcat bucket at my leg.
okay, that's
The only
that's
time I
not
talked to
funny,
his sister that
but
last week,
but-
no, he wasn't laughing either by the time we decided to talk.
But I
But-
do know that he's willing to purchase.
okay, let me ask you this
Okay.
question. And this is the question I posed a year and a half ago to Chad when we looked at this little green map here. Give me
Right.
an option. Okay. All of you own property and trailers and mobile homes in this 1 through 9
Yes.
that are on that map, right?
Somewhere.
Okay, we get them inside of Chad's gaining property, essentially.
Okay.
He's benefiting because he's gaining property.
But he's paying for that, right?
Well, we don't know.
Well, okay, but
But
that
that
was an
that would be
option.
what would
I
have to
think
happen.
he
You'd have to
understood
purchase
that he
these
would
and
have
so-
to pay for part of that. Don't you think, Keisha?
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have to purchase the.
When that,
Yeah,
in
so
the
you
meeting
can't
in
give away land.
2023, he said,
Right.
sell me the
I
property,
would.
I will buy
I
it.
wouldn't
Yeah.
either.
Okay,
It's the only
well,
way they
we'll
can pay
see.
for things.
Yeah.
They don't have
If that's
businesses
the
that pay for
buy my
file,
own,
so
you
we're
gotta
sell
solving
something.
residents. Okay, one,
If I
one
buy
at a
my
time.
own,
The other question along with that though is, do you folks as mobile home owners want any definition and want this platted as, okay, he gets 20 more feet or whatever he gets to get him inside his property, right? What are you guys getting in return? What is your lot definition? We have no idea.
Okay.
I don't
And
really,
it's not on paper anywhere.
I don't think.
I think we're all kinda happy with the way it is.
my neighbor's yard is my yard.
I
My
think
yard is
our,
my neighbor's
yeah,
yard.
Yeah.
Okay, but from a legal point of view, you have to have it defined as, hey, this trailer one, you know, you own, you're responsible.
I'm renting it.
You're
yes.
renting this parcel, whatever that parcel is,
Yeah.
where we go.
you know, go ahead.
Okay, John, there is actually a unwritten map there.
Is
Each
there
trailer
one?
has a sewer line it can be hooked to.
Right,
It has the electrical box right next to the trailer,
okay,
and it's got water line, which has to be under the trailer so it don't freeze.
right,
So the lot lines, or the lot outline for the trailer is set,
It's defined by the utility.
Yeah.
defined by the utilities.
okay, well,
And
we,
then they said, way Chad told us in the past, you figure 5 foot from your rear door is your backyard. And depending
Over
on
to the,
your front yard, because each trailer distance is different,
sure,
you've got a minimum of 10 to
right.
The next
whatever
5.
the,
And I think that would be fine, but we don't have any, there's nothing that says that, so if there's a dispute,
Well, we each have one of those papers they made us sign, so we've all got that.
Okay.
But you,
right, yeah, we wouldn't have it, right, but I mean, we shouldn't have to have it, because normally you would be able to go to the county and you'd look at the plat and say, there's 17, mobile home lots, here's what the sizes of them, I mean, I'm just, as an example.
there is 17 lots.
And this is the way they're configured. Here's the utilities,
Have to move them.
and, because during the water project, we're like, well, where do we put our meters? Do we have easements for those meters? I mean, you want water, you want sewer, do we have, you know, where is this stuff? So we moved, you might have noticed, we moved the meters around a bit, but that middle row of meters, I'm not so sure we have easements for those meters.
That's in my other yard.
Yeah,
I own that trailer.
yeah, there's meters in that middle row. Well,
Yeah,
it's
right
our
there
responsibility to the meter, we put them back where the old ones were.
Right.
Because if we put them back on the edge of the property, now that line becomes whose responsibility? Normally the property owner,
Mm-hmm. From the meter
and
on.
we don't know, from Chad's point of view, is he paying for that? Property owner paying for that?
Line coming into your trailer.
Well, technically, he should pay for it as the property owner.
And the same thing on the
But then,
electrical.
you know,
We
He pays
don't,
to your plug.
yeah,
I know that for a fact.
what's that?
He pays to your plug and he pays to where you hook in on your trailer to your water. Anything before that is his.
Well, then he owes me about
Clarify that.
$800.
I know that
Sure, I'm
for
not-
the trailer
We
I
have
used
pits
For my water line, I
underneath
put
where
it
our
in.
water
It's
lines
very
stub up
nice
to
for
come
them.
into the
Come up
bottom.
where it hooks to your hot water tank. Where
Okay.
it comes into your house.
So he's responsible
He's
for,
responsible from that line down through the ground to the meter. The
To-
city's responsible for the meter on.
okay, all right, well, that's good to know. Okay.
Electrical, same thing. It's where it plugs into your trailer.
Okay.
Your mobile home.
So if
double
there's
wide,
an
whatever it's
issue
called.
with a riser or coming out of the electrical meter from the actual meter to the trailer, is
That's Chad.
that's Chad's responsibility?
Yes, it is Chad's. I've had
Just like
that
on a
situation.
regular house.
Sewer's
Okay.
the same way.
Yep.
The homeowner is responsible to the pit. And then if the pit is on Chad's property, the way I understand it, he's responsible from where it goes into the pit to where it goes
Where it
across
goes
the
into the
line. And then if it's beyond that line, because we had a problem with one of ours that was down on that east
Okay.
side.
So really, so as far as easement space, we need to
Yeah.
review that from a water meter point of view.
Okay.
Most of them, we tried to move as many as we could to the edge of the property in on Elm Street. That's why there's
Yeah.
3 meters clear over there, is because we know that that is in road right of way.
Okay.
I mean, so.
Well, and I think one of those has been leaking since you guys put it in. There's a swamp over there. I
Yeah,
know.
we've dug that up a couple of times and looked at it, and we're not so sure that it's not the sewer.
I have to weed eat it because
Yeah.
it's a swamp.
So that's on our
Yep.
agenda to fix, if we can figure out what's going
I
on.
think it's fresh because it was never like that until the water line
I know
project
that.
went through.
Okay. All right, well, we'll take a look at that.
That's okay, they had ours messed.
All right,
They had 2 trailers.
Oh,
So-
also, John,
yes, go
another
ahead.
thing on the sewer that's under the 3 trailers, don't forget, each one of those trailers is already up 2 feet.
Correct.
So there's access, and the thing that they discussed last time, it's easier on a mobile home to jack it up further to grant access to go underneath,
Sure.
rather than pulling it.
Because they're already up this high.
It'd be cheaper to jack it up than try to pull it out.
I mean, one thought I had, and that's just a thought, so another idea, but it gets to the same point here. City's gonna have some concerns and easements and those kind of things for water meters. What the water line is, I don't remember, and I will need to find out. I know all the meters are right along
They're right along Elm
Elm
Street
Street.
By the mailboxes.
the Elm, but the ones for up, Second Street are all right in front of the trailers, are they not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, on the front row.
Yep.
on the
Yeah,
front row,
okay.
they're all right in
That's where that
front.
old one was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
so we need to figure that out, but we can figure out some type of easement.
Has it. They,
But-
dig it up.
There was also a discussion, which, again, it's a park property owner question. The roads within there, there's 2 roads within there. It's Chad's responsibility for them. We don't have any
Right.
responsibility, because that's why over time,
They're not city property.
they're not city property. If this was done according to the plat, we would be able to maintain the alley, Locust Street, and if we wanted to develop, or Elm Street, if we wanted to develop Locust, we could certainly do that. I don't know, there's a little bit of discussion between on Q, right there where Q's at, that's where that road basically comes into, right?
Okay,
On the north
uh-huh.
side of it, yeah.
On the north side.
Correct.
There was some discussion of, well, should that go on out to Locust
Locust.
and Locust be more developed than what it is?
That's fine, but do you guys really realize how wet it gets back there?
It's a swamp.
I understand that.
We put bricks down and elevated up off the ground just to
About the
walk in our
wetlands
front
problem,
door.
this is something I've seen for a long time, right there where I live on the west side of
trailer
Elm,
you
at Second Street.
6.
The culverts,
Yeah.
you look,
You're on the west.
they're
very-
bigger as they
yeah.
go up, they get smaller as they come down. Now, I don't know if you guys, anybody else knows about how water flows?
It doesn't
That's
work.
necking it down, yeah, well, when the rain gets real heavy, that culvert can't keep up and it rolls over the road. I've lost brand new, so, I mean, that's something
down
that
there.
really needs fixed ever since
Well,
I've lived in this
It
town
runs
in the
through
90s.
Jeffrey's.
Do we know,
But I don't know
Bottom of the-
how you'd have to tear out the road to do it
well,
and have it
would
fixed real
it,
quick.
I mean, I'm not one to sign the city up for additional
No,
work,
I just wanted to
but-
bring that issue up while it was in
But
the.
it's
in
still
there.
our responsibility.
Yeah.
I know that's not gonna happen, I just wanted,
On,
while I was in
I'm not
there.
saying it's not gonna happen, but on Locust, if we were to put more developed there, put some type of drainage, clean out the abandoned railroad, because Cause there used to be obviously a drainage on the railroad.
It's still
It's
there,
still
but then
there.
those kids, I mean, you know, there's not a lot of kids now, but they bring all this stuff and they make it a fort.
Right.
And they
they
got
do.
all kinds of crap in there.
Well, I'm just saying, should we do some clearing down there to help with the water situation and drainage and get it to, cause the only place it's gonna drain is
That
that
creek.
ditch over between.
Plus, anything off the Second Street
Run over, water, yeah.
comes down on the second road and goes where, well, the best way to describe where it goes is basically through the alley, because it goes through our yard to the
Right.
culvert behind us, which goes further on into the creek or the ditch area back by the old railroad track.
So our yard, we can't put anything in the front yard because it's a swamp.
Well, and again, from a
But-
property owner point of view, all right, well, let me rephrase. From a
Leasing.
trailer
House
leasing
owner,
point of
yeah.
view, this is really, a lot of this
that
is
you?
Chad's responsibility.
Oh,
Now,
I would think
you know,
there's a disagreement
we can
there.
certainly help in trying to get some of this, corrected. But that's gonna be a partnership with everybody to
Yeah.
try to fix those issues. And I just wanna be clear,
Yeah.
in the council meeting, when we talked about this, that was the point of that discussion, is like, hey, we got this problem. Do we wanna tackle this? You guys on board with this? Some information got put out there, a lot of things stirred up, but at the end of the day, we're here to serve you guys, at least attempt to as best as we can. Now, have we made mistakes in the past? Absolutely. But we ought to be able to learn from those and work together to
Going
find a
forward.
good solution. But the property owner has some responsibility here.
It doesn't matter what we all say or agree to, it's all down to Chad. He's the property owner.
Right.
it's down to Chad and the city council and what they decide. We can
Exactly.
put in our opinion
The
and
only thing we can do
That's
is
about all
push
we can
Chad.
do. All
we
That's
can
what they're
do.
trying to get us to do.
Well, and I may be wrong, but when Chad was here, I know 2 years ago when we had our meeting, he offered then to buy 25 feet north of the park to incorporate all that front road that's sticking over into the street easement, correct?
He offered that, but when we said and sat him down and said, Chad, give us a plan. Here's,
He
city's
never
coming
did
up
that.
with a plan. What are you gonna do here?
Okay,
Nothing has come of that.
okay, well, I could
Well, he's a
understand that.
landlord, we don't do much.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
So, I mean,
And then the other night, he said it again.
and that's fine. We're gonna have to work out some agreement.
Yeah.
And then what's the access? But we can do that independently. Absolutely. But you guys are gonna be affected.
Yes,
And so shouldn't you have some say as to what that agreement looks like?
yes.
I would think
No.
your input would be valuable.
Technically, no, but
I mean, so,
But it
let me
forces
go down the
Chad
scenario
to-
of, okay,
it forces Chad to be a
forces
better
Chad,
landlord
yeah.
and not so much of a
it does.
slumlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Like when I asked about gravel and haul it
Yeah.
yourself. Well, he was pretty mad. That's when I got the bucket swung at me when he showed up and had his gravel pile gone.
Yeah,
Y'all remember
he,
that?
he don't like
Yeah,
to do a whole lot of
I started that
maintenance.
pile. You told me haul it yourself. I sure did. I got a brand new driveway out of it. And he showed up, have his gravel piles gone, which filled up, well, not enough for the mailboxes, which is federal law.
but
Yeah, what is wrong?
and this is why, I have been working with our maintenance crew to clean up. You said, well, Locust has never been a street. You're right.
Well, not past, what,
But-
Market or Third or
But
whatever.
Right.
is it our obligation to just simply let it go?
No, I'm figuring you
To
guys want to
whatever.
develop that field at some point. Whoever owns it wants to sell it.
So,
That'd look a lot better in a town where, the street went
so
through.
we have went through there, cleaned trees up, mowed.
You didn't do it on my
And,
You missed my
mean
property.
started
well, I
mowing.
can, you want me to come down and mow? I'll see what I can do.
9
Trim the
years prior.
tree.
Let me know which one it is. No,
That
I'll
may,
get- I'll
that
get
may
some
be
more.
the tree that's still there.
Yeah. There is
Yeah.
one tree that's there, and the concern was we need more professional help if we're gonna take that tree out. But again, we took the ones out that were obviously needing to go and to where we can mow all that.
You could just dump it on my trailer and then, it'll be for sale
Okay.
to you.
I don't know if we can intentionally do that.
No.
That would probably be a lawsuit. Okay.
Alright. So with that, what other questions do you guys have? What other solutions? I was wanting to know this idea about more development on Locust. What do we do around the park? It definitely needs more drainage. I mean, additional drainage is not gonna hurt the city. This is the bottom of the hill. It's gonna benefit the rest of the city. Unfortunately, we have 2 sewer lines that also serve the rest of the city. Because in the bigger map, which I don't know if you have that one up, but in this bigger map,
There you go.
that's fine. I mean, but
I have it, I just.
if you, no, that's fine. Just, you're good. So where 6 is there, and where we're talking about, the number 6, all of the entire city drains through, at least on that section, through that B21 into J7 and then on out.
Can you enlarge that a little bit, Becky,
Yeah, I'm
please?
sorry. I thought it was gonna show the whole town, but it.
I have the whole town here.
Yeah.
If you wanna
Okay,
take a
so
look.
say that again for B6.
Okay, so all of this, see that where it makes that right angle?
Yeah.
That serves that section, but it also serves all of that section.
Oh, okay,
And
which
the
is the
trailer
sail
park.
barn.
This, the sail barn's down here.
Oh,
Goes
okay.
through the sail barn. This drains all of that section down.
Oh, okay.
Down on the backside of the cell.
On the back side.
On the backside.
Is that in the field or is that Locust Street?
The blue line is the sewer line that goes on south and actually goes out to the lagoons. It goes south, goes over to Napa,
Okay,
goes across the road, goes through the field and out to the lagoons. Yeah, and to Grandma's house. Yeah.
Because certain things flow downhill, right?
Some things do flow downhill. That's a correct statement, man.
I know that from working around plumbers.
All right, so that's where we're at. Do you guys like the idea? And I mean, I'd have a big question for you. I mean, I wouldn't want to say, hey, let's connect the inner road, because that's gonna be right by your property. Do you want that or not? I mean, maybe,
Not
maybe
really.
not.
I mean, I don't see the point of it, but
Right.
apparently
Yeah.
the city does, though.
No, I don't. I'm saying it's an idea. But if I was you, I'd say, well, I don't want that connection together, there's more traffic.
Well, it ain't even so much more traffic. What traffic's gonna use it?
Right?
Other than,
Where are they going to? Around the trailer park?
Everybody who needs to drive through my yard just drives.
I live
through
on that
my
corner,
yard.
if
Yeah.
you're going past the alley to the
You're good.
west
Sorry.
and from the north side,
Well,
you're
water
lost.
means up front, you're
I
good.
know.
I'm saying from a parking point of view,
It blocked my driveway in.
well, but
It'd be a
if
pain
you,
in the ass
if
to
you
get out of my
had
driveway in the
access,
winter.
From your property would
you
take
had
away
access
from
to go
yours
around the
and
corner
I
and
know.
park on
Well,
Locust,
I'm already done
would that
this.
be a benefit or
theirs. All
not?
the way
I
down.
have
you
one
could
stair
park
off
on
my back
Locust.
porch.
What's the
That's
point of
city
going
property.
all the
But I
way
mean,
down
that's,
to the railroad tracks, because you're never
No.
gonna.
Man, I'm just
There
asking.
on Locust.
What are you gonna do?
We're on something else.
but that's my point. What traffic do you think is honestly gonna use it?
No,
Where are they
but
going?
you guys.
But us.
Around the trailer park?
But
If
we're
they
all
didn't drive
perfectly
by my
fine
trailer
with
in the
what we
morning,
got.
wake
I
me
mean,
up.
okay.
Let me-
Well, hang
let
on.
me say
Hang on.
Pointless to
Those
spend the
sheds
money.
are here,
Everyone,
right?
you're welcome
Yeah.
to just drive on
Who
through
would
if
use
you
it
need
to
to.
drive all the way down the
Everyone.
first row to come in on that side
For
street?
free.
Nobody.
Who would use it?
Okay, then that's a bad idea.
I think that
I'm not
paint,
being.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Who
The
would
idea-
honestly use it
Yeah.
unless they were moving?
The idea
or-
was to have it there because when they
Did the
tore
street
up
Mhm.
the entrance to Elm
Mhm.
and the trailer court,
and Second Street,
So
nobody
we
could
if
can
you
get
get
were
out
back
that
there,
way.
you couldn't get out.
Yeah. Well, there
But
used
if
to
we
be
had-
a.
If you had the way to Elm,
Okay, I
Third
understand
Street, I
what you're
guess.
saying,
Yeah.
but back there where 14,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it goes around the corner.
no, I'm not saying take the road all the way
is- No,
down.
no, no, no.
Listen.
Where
That's
14
Third
is, or
That's
13 is,
Yeah.
there used to be a tube there that went across the co-op ditch. So why couldn't we use where that,
There used to be a road there?
yes, there used to be a road there.
Oh.
When Chad redid the back of the trailer park
No,
and put
it
all the
wasn't there.
things in.
When Chad did it, it wasn't there.
Well,
We
I-
brought trailers in that way, and they had the ditch to deal with. They didn't have a road.
I thought he put a tube in there.
This is why I'm saying, I don't think we've landed on we know that we wanna get everything on Chad's property, right? Nobody's moving at that point. Question is then there's a lot of these extraneous discussions of, okay, what do we really want it to look like? What would be most beneficial for you guys? Now, can we help in pushing that?
I would
Go ahead.
say, let it all stand as is. Trailer gets damaged to the point where it needs to be replaced.
Remove it.
You move it out, and if one cannot be put back exactly
Okay.
To where it complies.
to where it complies,
Complies with what? Yeah.
Then-
Complies with boundaries.
I would say then it's gotta wait until it can comply by
Okay.
either being replotted or
Okay.
smaller or
Smaller
whatever,
mobile home.
So,
until everything basically gets cleared out and redone.
You and I need to change.
But that's like you said, the agreement we have to have between the city, landowner, and residents.
yeah, under that scenario, yeah, we could remain in status quo. I mean, that's
Yeah.
basically remaining in status quo. And we could do that.
Because if one burns to the ground, like the one on row 1 did, that they
Number
brought in
3.
another mobile home and Gary's living in it now.
Right.
I mean, that is a scenario. And if it's stuck out past the boundary, whether it's the ones now or the ones to be, then one that long couldn't go back in there.
Correct.
But could we put a newer one back in that space?
That is shorter or
That's
something.
shorter.
Yeah.
Because like ours is pretty short. Brent's is really long.
Mine's insanely long.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah.
get some really nice,
Ours is probably the newest
I
one
wouldn't
out
call
there
them
and it's short.
trailers, I
Yeah.
would call them more modular-ish
Right.
houses.
That's why I said a trailer and a modular anymore. I've worked on new modulars after
That
they
are-
got moved out, and it's
that are,
like a
you
trailer
know,
with a vaulted ceiling.
16 by
It's nicer.
40,
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and
I hate to say
really,
it, but it's what it is.
really nice structure, you know,
Ours-
for that size,
yeah.
or wider and a little more conventional.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Ours is a 16 by 54. 56, so it's kind of short. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, so it's not as big as these other ones.
Right.
But it's 16 wide, and it's 1,000, almost 1,000 square feet. It's nice.
Right, do you guys have any other questions on this? And
I got a
have
kind of
better
question for everybody that lives in
understanding?
the trailer park. As far as the tree limbs, is that my responsibility as the renter on the lot?
That's
No,
what
it's
Chad
not
said.
supposed to be, but if
Well,
you
that's when I
don't,
got the bucket swung in my leg, and I
Yeah.
jumped up the cab of the bobcat I was taught, and asked me, want to shut it off and talk.
It's your responsibility as far as he's concerned.
Okay,
is.
cool.
it is
As
our.
far as he's concerned.
Well,
As far
is
as
that
he's
in our
concerned,
lease?
if you
Is that in our
remove it, he's not
lease?
gonna yell at you.
Okay.
Well, I just didn't want
I
anything
can tell you
fall
that
on my
much right
trailer,
now.
I just, there's a
Yeah.
bigger one, I didn't want to have to pay for it.
Anyway,
That's all.
Not that I know
so
of.
what
He's
is
never-
gonna be presented to the city council?
Cool, that's all I need to know.
Whatever the.
So in other words,
What I would like to present, what I would most likely present is, okay, we understand, I think they understand, I'm not gonna speak for them, but I think they understand what the problem is. Now, okay, what path do you guys wanna take on this? It
Path of
sounds
least
like
resistance.
the suggestion and is we have two options at this point. We can leave status quo, or we can push to get some replatting and some property, but that's gonna require money
Right.
and time from everyone to get that done. From the city point of view, regardless of what those two discussions are, the people, i.e. you, and the other two trailers that the sewer line goes over, we need to come to some understanding as to, okay, if we have to do something here, obviously, we're not gonna wanna move anything to do that. I mean, that's not what we're gonna wanna do. We're gonna wanna do everything we can not to do that. But we need to know that, hey, okay, we're gonna do this as least invasive as possible, or can we reroute? Again, that's a dollar question.
Right.
I mean, because it's possible, it could be possible, we would have to have some engineering study and figure out some stuff. But it also affects how the trailers are hooked up though too, to bring back to your original point.
Yeah.
Could we hook B21 into and set a new manhole to the south of that and eliminate a piece of that? Yeah, possibly.
You could probably move it a good, I couldn't even begin to tell you the footage, but you can move it where it would go behind said 3 trailers and still be in front of lot 13 and still hit the city.
Yeah, see, if we went down, just brought it straight down instead of going over, that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we need
then,
some engineering studies.
at
and
that point, you would be
and
under my
expense.
dog pens and my chicken coop.
Yeah.
No, the chicken coop that has no chicken.
I have 7 chickens.
Oh, you do now? Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, I hadn't heard it.
No, not at all.
Any other questions,
Okay, so
concerns?
the only problem that the city had with Chad's last proposal was he didn't have a layout plan of it.
Yeah, and he didn't come up with any.
So in other words,
Would
the
you have to
city
pay for a
would,
survey for that?
hang on, the city would accept whatever y'all came up with a year and a half ago, if we could come up with boundary lines for each lot.
That would be
Is
very
that what
helpful.
you're saying, basically?
Why can't we just do that?
You guys could.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
Chad
my
I got a
question.
100-foot tape measure.
Chad don't really care, to be honest, what happens.
Yeah, he don't really care what we do down there, as long as we ain't fighting.
As long as that money's
Yeah.
there on payday.
As long, yeah, as long as
Yeah.
we pay him, he's happy.
That's my point, just
Yeah.
let's just be real, he'll let you do anything you
Yeah,
wanna do
he
down there,
will.
as long as
Pretty
you
much.
Long as
pay
you're paying a
rent.
lot for it, the property tax.
Except you can't have a trampoline.
Well, I don't know about all that.
They're
but
too
I
close.
killed
Yeah.
myself on it
I'm
anyway.
42, I'm too old for that.
But that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, we need something for him to, because he is the property owner and we can't go in there and replat it for him. We cannot do that. We can suggest all we want.
But there's no, you're telling me that if we come up with plotting for all of our lit trailers to set on,
Then we can probably.
there's no
push that
regulation or anything else like that we have to worry about?
Yeah,
What is
like,
the
are
regulations
there
that we would have to
yard
be
regulations for the city?
Not within the
that would
mobile
have to-
home park, because
Okay.
it's defined by the plat.
Okay,
within? Okay.
If
So
we
in other
make up,
words-
if we make up yard,
In other words, all 15 residents need to come up with property lines for your property, how big you want your yard
Right.
in
I want
between
mine
each trailer,
really
and this
big.
problem will be solved.
Cause he's gonna mow my
It's already
grass.
done with the light pole light.
Problem will be solved.
I
That's
want
about a
mine really
5-foot
big
span.
because I want you
I
to
mean,
mow
the
my
lady probably
grass.
knows the light
Let-
pole.
I'm not-
She
yeah,
mows
I'm not-
this side, I
let
mow
me-
that
I'm not
side.
saying that.
Let me
I'm
clarify
Well,
a
and we mow
bit here.
justice, so.
Right?
hang on.
Let me clarify a bit. Okay. There are zoning regulations.
Yes. I understand.
So,
I
and
know
there
that. I'm
are
not dumb.
setbacks and those things in there. Now, do I think that you are gonna be outside of those zoning regulations? Most likely, you're still gonna be in some non-conformance, like if you set a boundary line just simply due to where they're sitting now. If we said, well, it should be 5 feet from the next one or whatever. We may or may not meet that. It is gonna be a non-conformance, but again, you're back to where we were originally, is if you do nothing, then you get, whatever goes back in there is still gonna have to recomply, or you're gonna have to redo this,
Right.
you know? Or you say, I'm renting 2 lots, or however it
I have
works out.
another question. When we brought in our big shed, I think we had to get a
Probably
permit.
permit.
The way I understand it, on your lot size, you're only allowed to put buildings over a certain percentage of the lot. Is that correct? Like 50% of my lot can be
In mobile home
covered.
parks, I would have to look it up.
Unless you're
Okay.
him and you put your garage on the property line.
Anyway,
I mean, where I'm talking about it.
I know.
Like I say, there's a long sordid story there.
Well,
Not any better than this one, I will grant you that.
Well, my point to that is when we got our permit for our, we call it the garage. And when we had to submit that and draw where it was gonna go on our property and all that good stuff. And on that permit, I believe it said it has to be complied within 60% or whatever. You couldn't have more than 60%. How did you guys determine the lot size?
Yeah, I don't know if they did or not, or maybe they just told us.
They
So
just approved it?
Our lot size is, that we have this lot, this is what it is. What
Okay.
We think it is.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
I mean, because
It was kind of good old
Unless-
boy, whatever.
a bit,
Yeah.
because when we started getting, we've had, now, I'm not gonna, mince words on this one, we've had complaints over the years and said, dogs barking, come take care of this, do something with this, hey, I got a dispute with my neighbors, whatever that case may be. It's very difficult for us to say, okay, what do you want us to do? Because
Why is it always you?
Why? I'm like the troublemaker.
Hey, I
Can't
was
take
just
you
throwing
nowhere.
fish in the yard.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Hopefully it's not the last name.
I don't know, maybe.
Davis, like ours.
that presents some challenges for us.
Yeah,
And
okay.
when we go back and say, property owner, what do you think they are?
Well, and Chad never gave me a definite answer then either.
No, we could never get a definite answer.
So
think he
We
knows.
between
begged.
Scott and Carrie, Amber and I, we come up with our own solution.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying, from a property owner point of view, I would need to review our regs. There's probably some reg in there that we could force this to be platted and tell you what those answers are.
So if we came up with lot lines for 15 families, and then we gave that to Chad and he gave it to you, you guys
What we
would
would
be
expect,
hunky-dory, so to speak.
what we would expect from that discussion is that be officially surveyed. We know where it's at, some type of markers. It doesn't have to be official property bins, but some type of marker says, hey, this is where the lot is. And that filed then at the county. Then from here on going out forward, if you purchase a trailer, you know what that lot is. You know what I'm purchasing.
and I agree, that's a good
So
thing
you
to
don't
have.
purchase something too big and end up with this issue where we're at right now.
Exactly.
Got
Because
it, makes sense.
unfortunately,
Monthly payments on
we've allowed and said, yeah, that sounds good. We want people here.
And by the
Okay?
time it got checked out, it wasn't quite.
And then what do you do?
You're kinda in a rock and a hard place
You
between
are.
two.
And it's like many other non-conforming issues we've had in town.
One more Chad question here, John.
Yeah.
Do you need these lot lines before you and Chad can decide on
I would like
the
your,
changing of the easements possibly?
I think we can do both together if that's the wishes of the council, but I would like your input. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I certainly would not want to say this is what the lot size is without your input.
Right. Well,
That's not a city question.
because I don't think any of them can be the same size. Does that make sense?
None of
to
them are
degree?
gonna be the same.
No, they won't. They'll be all different sizes.
At one time, they probably were.
Not the way
Back
they're
when-
sitting there
Back
now.
when all the trailers
In
were 60 and
future-
70 feet.
When it's rezoned or when one goes and a new one's gotta come in and it has to be, then you can be able to get your definite dimensions, but as of right now,
Yeah,
Wherever.
other than playing Jenga and moving everything around,
yeah. And that, I mean, obviously that's an option, but that's a long-term option. I mean, that's like, okay, we're gonna move one trailer and then, hey, are you guys ready to move or you wanna
but
move?
see how that would have to work
I mean,
is,
that could be a 10-year
you would
plan.
have to remove all three of the back ones, move the entire
three of the
center row
back?
first, back, before you could ever move that front row back. Because
Yeah.
that front row's gotta come back where the center row's sitting.
Right.
Or you start on the back row, get them on the property, and then start turning all of them east and west.
Of course, the back.
15 trailers.
Oh.
Oh, you can't do that.
That's the most expensive
Yeah.
way to do
I
it.
don't, and I
That is the
don't
most
think.
expensive way to do it.
Yeah, and I don't think there'd be room to do any other direction.
I don't want to
Yeah.
Your zoning code's got it,
I
right?
said, I know mine, I'm not allowed to move it
Or
by
move the
law.
shed.
East and west.
Yeah, that's what I
My
thought.
trailer.
There's-
Yeah, my trailer's too old to move.
Kansas law states there's.
The county law
past a
says
certain
that.
age, we're not allowed to move.
Well, you aren't even allowed to have a flat roof trailer in Osage County, which mine is, but it's grandfathered
Okay,
clause
we're
is.
getting some background chatter here, so, Lynn, what were you
I
saying?
said, I can't move my trailer legally, because in Osage County, you aren't allowed to have a trailer that has a flat roof. Mine does, but before they passed that law, my trailer was there. That was part of the law, when the county passed
Right,
it, I
that's one of
cannot
the-
physically move that trailer
Right, they'll-
a quarter of an inch or anything,
Number
unless
two can't
earthquake
move
does
that
it.
either.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I literally can't move it, that was my concern, was
Right.
like,
Sure.
okay, what's on the line, well, I guess we're gonna have to play it as it lies, so that I move out and
And
tear
that's a
the
good
thing
point.
down or whatever. I mean, that was my concern, because the other roads, I'm right around the corner. I drive out on the road, yard or whatever. if
Well, a
something's
lot
wrong
of
with the road,
cities
they
also have, like, if one goes out, the one that comes in has to be like a certain age, like within, let's say, 10 or
Can't be
15
like more
years.
than 10 years old.
Within
We
the,
don't
so
want
within
that.
Our current
2025,
zoning will not allow you to move a trailer that is pre-76.
okay, which is, there's a few out
The
there.
aluminum.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It's the wiring,
The
and they
vintage.
were not HUD approved prior to 76, so,
Okay.
they had no building standards or codes when they
Okay.
put them together. And so, obviously, there was a lot of concerns about,
Right,
depending
right,
upon which manufacturer, some of them were good, some of them were not so good.
right,
But they had a lot of fires because of the aluminum
okay.
wiring. So, all right. If nobody that owns property has any more questions, I'll open it up to the floor to ask a couple questions, and then we'll suspend the meeting if that's okay with everyone. I think we got some direction here. All right, floor, do you guys have any questions?
I've got some questions.
Okay.
I think that everybody can pretty much agree that the optics for you guys are terrible at this point in time, due to rumors or whatever you want to say. So I figure now would be probably a good time for you guys to have some time to dispel them. Kyle already addressed a comment that was made on Friday, but there were a lot of other comments that were going around that haven't been addressed at all. So if you guys would like to take the time to kind of dispel or clarify or whatever you would like.
And what particular comments are you referring to?
There was a comment, I didn't get a name for sure, but a council member advising sending out letters to trailer owners to find other living arrangements,
To move in with family.
specifically to move in with family.
I remember hearing that. Yep.
Yep.
I don't remember that comment.
I do. I don't remember who
Let's
said it.
send letters to the families in the trailers so that they can make arrangements to move in with Aunt Susie Stated by Cheryl Miller, council member.
Oh, okay.
There you have it.
Oh, good.
She's not here to defend herself.
Certainly.
I mean, we can
I don't
also
know
address
what the-
this at the council
I
meeting
don't
too.
know what the
or-
context of all of these are.
Well, no one does. That's why I'm
Carl
giving,
explained his, and I
that's
think
why
that was
I'm
to our
trying to give you the
satisfaction.
option to provide it.
I will
I
say,
don't remember that comment.
Okay, and I don't know if
But I
these
do
happen
remember
for sure.
something similar.
Yeah.
Okay,
to that.
and I
We're
don't,
only going by
that's all I'm
somebody that
asking.
was
We
here.
talked about people that went around it, cause I've been throwing this up to John, I might be the bad guy.
You probably are.
Because I've been telling John for years, cause John and I've had this conversation for years. There's an issue down there, it's gonna be very difficult to take care of, but it's only gonna get worse.
What's the
What's
issue?
the
What's the issue?
This whole thing. This
Oh,
whole thing.
okay,
All
okay,
the issue with the trailer's been over, we've known about this.
yeah, forever.
And previous administrations have known about it.
Okay.
Nothing was
So
done.
why
we
didn't you
went-
do anything about it?
What's that?
Why didn't you do anything about it?
okay, Roger,
So he said you've known about it for years. How many years?
I don't know.
Because
Lots of
Well-
he said 2022
well, we
at the
know,
last
we know
meeting,
that
and now it's
this,
been years.
well, we know that this survey was done in 23. We've known about the sewer issue for obviously long,
2007.
2000,
And the
whenever we did the
Whenever
sewer
it was.
project.
I'm just
boundary
saying-
lines go way back. I know Jason, my son, was on the planning and zoning back in 2010, and that was discussed then.
But the way that comment, getting back to your comment, when that came up, we were kind of spitballing what we're gonna do. Because the last thing anybody on the council wanted to do, and it was, we've gone over it ad nauseum, there's not an option to asking people to leave their trailers. That's their homes.
Well, that's good to
we're not-
know, because it didn't
that
quite
never-
come out
that
that
never
way.
came up.
No,
Okay,
it didn't.
No, it didn't.
okay.
It's, the opposite's come out on Facebook about people trying to incite.
Well,
I'm trying to give
But
you
that's fine. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
the
That-
option
that's
out.
what's
the
going on.
remark that
But
Cheryl
I
made
did say-
kind of
I made a
lends
comment.
itself to that.
If it comes to a point where we find out we do have to, there's an issue with the trailer. These people have to move out. It's no longer safe.
Why would you
If-
say it's not safe?
Well, why,
No, I was
who makes
putting
that
it-
I know
decision?
you're trying, but who would make that decision?
Who would make that
I'm
decision that
saying,
my house is no longer
what if there was a
unsafe?
fire? Those
That
are the
makes
kind of-
sense.
those are
Fire
the-
and act of
Those are
God.
the things I'm talking about. If there's something happens that makes something unsafe, whatever that could be a million things. I'm not saying we're gonna come in and say this is no longer safe to live in. I'm saying if something happens, we were having a conversation. I said, I think we owe it to those people down there that live in the trailer court to try to help them find affordable housing until that can be rectified. That's when Cheryl said something, and I don't remember her saying who it was.
Remember when she
Oh, is that when she said maybe
She
if
said
something like that
something. I don't
happened,
know
they
what
could
she
move in
said.
with
I don't know
families?
what she
Well,
said.
okay.
But I
that
remember
might be-
it was part
I could see
of
that.
an informal conversation.
Okay.
It wasn't an attack on anybody living down there. Never was.
And when there was a comment made from the public that said, you guys are laughing, and what did I stop the meeting and I said, there is nothing funny about this situation. These are people's homes and people's lives that we're dealing with. It's
Friday, you
exactly
said
what
it was post meeting. So
No.
was it during,
It was
on
during the
record?
meeting.
On record?
Yes.
Because I have you on video from Friday saying that it was after the meeting.
Shouldn't be on record, because this is not a meeting. This is
No,
not
no,
a
no,
meeting.
no, no, no.
You had
This
too
was
many
said
people
during the
here.
council
Comments
meeting.
that was
That was
stated.
You had
all
too many
part
people.
of my
Yeah.
comment about if there.
That's fine. I'm just trying to clarify, because
It
last
was
Friday,
during the that conversation.
That's fine.
When I said if there's abandoned trailers, because there was a question about that.
No.
Now we found out there's not. Okay. I said if there is an abandoned trailer, we do need to get those out of there.
Yeah.
That's for safety reasons. There shouldn't be.
right, that's fine and all. I'm just clarifying what John
That's
said.
why I
We
asked.
should
know if there was abandoned trailers down there, because then we, water bill.
That's why I asked, and I was told.
So
it
we
wasn't-
obviously knew there was not abandoned trailers down there,
No,
because
'cause-
someone's not paying their water bill.
No, because you can have an abandoned property and be paying the water bill. I asked a question.
Well,
I was
The
told
problem
they
is
didn't
that
know.
Chad-
Well,
and I
they're
said
saying
that.
the water bill's
And
not
after
been
that, I said,
abandoned.
we
was
have it
empty
hauled
because
off.
it was in the middle of a court proceeding. Chad was taking it away from the residents that owned it because of backlot rent.
Sure.
So it wasn't abandoned, it was empty because of the court proceeding.
Right. And I'll be the first to admit, this is a different conversation, but I stopped by and I said, did they inform you of this situation? And the answer was no. And I was appalled that they didn't at least have the courtesy. If you're gonna sell somebody something, you should have the courtesy to tell them what the problems are. Do I know of anything? Is there anything here that I should know about? Whatever the situation be, it's just morally what you should do.
Are you talking about selling it to Keisha, that particular situation?
That particular one.
Well,
I didn't
see-
know that. All we knew is somebody was evicted. And
We
then
were talking about selling ours, and prior to this past week, it would never have even occurred to me to say anything about this because I didn't think it was an issue.
The only thing I knew was I was told they wanted to put in a road on the west side of the trailer park.
I don't know that that was ever said or
And
stated.
connected to the back road. That is what I was told.
That never was discussed. I'll tell you that.
And when I was moving in and redoing it, the city was back there cleaning up trees in the very back corner.
How long have you lived there?
We moved in the
She
first
just
of,
moved in.
November 7th.
And I believe, and I believe I offered, I said, thank you for cleaning up. Do you need anything from the city? That was my statement.
You might bring that up. Well, that probably is a win.
Have we addressed all the comments?
No. There were others, various like condemning comments, whether it be Evergy to condemn power lines or whatever, inspectors to condemn
Do we
individual
want-
trailers.
Do we want to make sure that it is, that we had an issue a couple of years ago, one of the trailers had half their power. They didn't know why they had half their power. It turns out it was a burnt wire somewhere in the system.
In their house?
No,
We
we
don't know whether it was in the
Probably
house
the
or
key.
the feed to the trailer.
Oh,
Don't know where it
okay,
was.
okay.
They did get it fixed.
It would have been the metering. Just
Well,
like
yeah.
when mine did it clear back in
So,
2000.
Okay.
you know, there could be safety concerns down there. We do know that some of the feeds, and you said that's Chad's responsibility, coming out of the meters are exposed wires. That is a fact.
Now, who's responsible for that? Would that be Westar?
It's not Westar,
After
we
the
know
meter,
that.
it's
Once it goes
land.
past the
Or
meter,
Evergy,
it's
I meant, I'm sorry.
That's why we asked them,
Property
take a
owner.
look at this.
Okay.
Because if
If
I
you're
was
wanting
building
to
on
do
the
it,
property owner, I need
I
to
had to have them replace my meter one time at the trailer court, and I live where Jessica lives.
Because if it's up to, and I'm not trying to throw Chad on the bus, Chad, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. But if it's up to Chad to check those things, he just kinda passes,
He
I don't
doesn't
know.
address an
He
issue
don't
until
directly
issue is brought
issue it
to
for a
his
while.
attention.
What are you saying, Jess?
He doesn't address anything until you
Throw a fit?
throw it in his face and be like, hey, you need to come look at this.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this problem.
Hey, if you really want his attention, call him up and just call him Lee Harvey.
Leave our Oswald.
I got mad one time, say, calm down, Lee Harvey.
Well,
He's ready to reach you the phone.
I don't know why he isn't here tonight.
I just wanna let you guys know that if you really need to get under his
I
skin.
think we've
He has
come to
children.
some
Call
good
me Harvey
conclusions
also.
here
The kids.
and some good options.
I'm not. There was talks about writing tickets to owners for,
Oh,
I'm not 100% sure what it was, but
For non-compliance.
whatever
For
law
not
enforcement
having
was
the
present
trailers
at that meeting
registered in the
allegedly
county.
said that arrests were warranted instead. So I'm just wondering about that.
It had something to do with registration. If
Registration or
the
whatever.
trailer wasn't registered or something.
So I guess
that
that's a
law
two-part
enforcement
question.
could arrest that person.
Who would have said it? And then, like, is the arrest versus the tickets, is that discretionary?
I don't think we're talking about, there's been no discussion of arrests. I don't know.
Yeah, there was.
So Carlson
I
never
don't know
did,
where that came
Carlson
from.
never did say that it could be a arrestable offense.
Anything
He did
could be
say
an
it.
arrestable
That's
offense.
exactly what he said.
Anything is technically an arrestable offense. What I said is, but in code enforcement, you don't arrest people.
Okay,
Technically, anything is arrestable.
great. Like I said, I'm just looking for clarification from you guys.
Thank you.
And then at the meeting, Becky kind of touched on it,
Friday.
but it was alleged that she came into Dollar General, or yes, on Friday, that she just wanted to see better homes in there. And Becky, I'm just wondering, I'm not gonna interrupt you, just speak your piece.
I didn't mean better homes in there, but I would like to see in our community some nice low-income housing. Some homes that are pretty and that, not pretty, but nice homes for people, because we don't have enough housing in Overbrook is what the point I'm trying to make. As I'd like to have housing.
Yeah,
more
but you're not
housing.
gonna get anything like that.
You would have
Okay, but
less
even-
housing if
Yeah.
you did
Take
get
people out
rid
of their
trailer
homes
parks.
to put
Oh,
in
no,
other
no,
homes.
no, I did not mean that at all.
Okay, but that's how it
That's how
definitely
we
came
perceived
off.
it, is that you would put us
So,
out
I'm-
Yes.
and do away with the trailer park and put up townhomes, low cost, efficient.
Yeah, but how are you gonna low cost a townhome?
Yeah, you gotta put a.
No, I did not
Anyway.
mean that at all. I just
Okay.
think Overbrook needs more housing, is the
Yes,
point
we
I'm trying
do.
to make.
Yes, we
Overbrook
do.
needs
Because the
more
trailer park is not
affordable
the only
housing.
eyesore in Overbrook. There is
Oh,
homes
no.
that's
That's
also
considered an
eyesores. So,
That's why
You're
when we
I
rent them
want
out, they're
more
ready.
affordable
Okay.
housing in
More of the
Overbrook.
apartments
To
and
your
stuff,
point,
building
Yes.
in the
come to
old
meetings, we
housing,
talk about
on
those
old
houses
corners and stuff,
more
where all
than
the
the
houses.
trailer park. Every meeting, we bring up the houses that are far worse eyesores than the trailer park. It's not that anybody's being picked on. Every neighborhood needs to be treated the exact same. And we do go over all of those homes, pretty much every month. Comments made every month. We've, hit it on some.
Certainly was not anybody's intent to disparage or cause hardship or heartache with anybody.
Okay.
But you can see how a collection of those comments
I
can cause
see
that.
how you parse out
Perceived it.
little pieces and bits and take out what you think you might want out of there. And then
No,
say,
no,
well,
I'm
this
kidding.
is,
Do that,
Okay.
yeah.
this is,
I think
this
he
is
did
how it's
that.
done.
Collective, it was
He
all
didn't.
of them together.
Yes.
One right after the other.
yeah.
It was a discussion, and it was every comment, one right after the other. Cheryl started with her comment about Aunt Susie before that ever came to the other.
All right.
You got cameras, you got the video, we can pull it back and watch it if you got video
Yeah, you
still.
gotta-
I got tired of you laughing.
Just
I
a-
blew up on all of you guys sitting around the table.
Just
What
a-
did
And
I
it's
tell you?
funny because there are good people that live down there.
And what did I tell you?
Yeah, finally you had to backpedal.
No, I didn't backpedal. I said exactly what I said. All right. Now,
So how long did the conversation go on before you stepped in?
It wasn't very long.
But enough for 6 to 7 comments to be made.
Obviously too long.
All right. Yes.
Why wasn't any of this brought to our attention before you guys decided to have the conversation without us?
The conversation started about the last 2 meetings. Because in the past, it's been talked about in city council and just swept under the rug. John said, we do need to finish this conversation. The owners of the trailers need to be a part of the conversation.
And
That's how that happened.
And that's what brought up the
That's what
meeting
brought up
last
the meetings.
Friday.
And then
Okay.
everybody said, well, they didn't advertise them long enough. Well, no decisions are being made. These are informal meetings. 'cause
Yeah,
we
but
weren't
3 o'clock in the
hearing about it.
afternoon,
Right.
14th.
And
night, but not for.
Hi, Gary. Bye.
Bye-bye, girls.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other questions or concerns? Yes.
If we are not being targeted and that's not the intent, why is there only one code
Ordinance,
compliance
yep.
in town and it's over at the trailer park?
It was put up in 2023 in the late
It
summer, I
was put
believe.
up after me and Amber's dispute.
Yep. Drove around town for 45 minutes yesterday. Couldn't find a single one like it.
I do not know what you're talking about.
If you drive down to Second now,
Did
and
anybody
you look
take
at
a
the-
picture
where
of
the-
I've got a picture
Like
of
my
it.
yard
Yeah.
right
I can
there,
show you guys.
Where you guys put up the owl feeder, the owl house, if you look on the north side of that pole, it says like it's city code
Show him
compliance or
the
something.
picture.
Well, I'm live right now. I can't. But
Oh,
I'll
I'm
gladly
sorry.
show you
You
after
can
we're
see it
done.
real easily.
I don't.
It's in these signs.
I don't know where or when it was put up. There's multiple code signs. There's one
I
coming
do know I
into
know
each
around
side
it.
of town.
Right, there's other code signs, but it's like
Not
engine
that.
braking or pick up your dog poop.
Purpose
Not-
to say this is in city compliance.
Right.
City,
That's a
It
big
doesn't even
sign.
say that in City Park.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll take a look at that.
So no
And
answer.
With that,
Yep.
I'm gonna conclude the meeting. I appreciate everybody coming, and thank you very much for all your input.
Well, thanks for letting us be part of the talk and not
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.